What is going on? I'm Zedmont. There is a new defense on Boom Beach, the Critter Launcher. I'm going to do a full, very deep dive on these puppies, so do stick around. But first, make sure you've got code Zedmont in your Creator Boost. And secondly, don't build them yet. If you are a low to mid-level player, you know that rocket launchers come around HQ 13. They're kind of expensive. 198,000 wood, 34,000 iron. Critter launchers are fully and utterly broken. 900,000 iron. These things were clearly built for a max level player and then bolted on to an HQ 12 to 14 player. So don't build these things quite yet. Nuno is talking with the developers, trying to get the costs lowered because, as you can see up here, 770,000 iron is my full capacity. 900,000 is more than that. So yes, they are a great defense. I'll go deep into the details later on, but I am not so great that I'm going to spend 672 diamonds on. Now, if you are a low-level player like Melon in our task force, by the way, this task force is Kinder 9. I'll give some details on that in a second. Do not ignore them. Make sure you keep them shocked. Don't waste your gunboat energy on other defenses like Melon did. I'm going to show you why here, because check this out. We're going to watch here in 1x mode. Those critters are going to absolutely wreck Melon. Yes, they got rid of it, but look at this. Those critters are destroying his heavies. They killed Brick, and then next up, they're going to kill all those Zookas. So lost a lot of troops there, all to those critter launchers. Now, I wanted to show you one other quick detail about that. Do check this out. As we zoom in, just watch what the troops target. The troops have already locked onto that critter launcher, so they don't change targets, which is a bad thing. You'll notice that mortar's starting to huck. Good shock time there. Not bad at all. And then watch this. The Zookas lock onto that critter launcher. The critters aren't quite out yet. Those critters are ignoring a defensive building. That critter is considered a defensive building that is like 2 tiles away, and as a result, all of their troops keep shooting the critter launcher, which isn't a bad thing because it's going to stop it from launching critters. But check this out. Critter just absolutely getting wrecked as the troops shoot over those critters. And those critters are a full-on defense, by the way. And when I say they're a full-on defense, I am not kidding at all. Check this out. We're going to throw Bullet out there. Bullet is going to attract some critters. Then we're going to get him over to here. And then if I get them to stay still for long enough, we're going to throw a shock right about there. You can actually flare each individual critter, which is a massive problem if you're trying to flare in green space or if you're trying to flare a building, because your troops are going to hit that they're going to spread wide, especially if you're using troops like Zookas, and bad things are going to happen. So if there are defensive critters out, make sure you're not trying to flare them. I went over this in my sneak peek, but I'm going to show you one more time here. With Everspark, we're going to drop Everspark right about here. I'm going to try to get her in and out of the range. And then I'm going to throw her underneath a smoke. Now check this out. We can actually throw a hack out and hack those critters. Everspark's glitching like crazy. She's trying to hack them, but they're underneath smoke. Bad things are happening. Then she hacks all of the critters at once, or maybe just those are, yeah, check this out. She actually hacks the group of critters. To me, that's a bug, but just be aware. You can hack critters, you can flare critters, so if you're trying to use that universal remote, bad things will happen, because a damaged critter is going to be closer than another building, and bad things are going to happen. Next up, trying to show you how these things work. Bullet getting out front, sending Bullet or a tank or a slow shooting troop against a bunch of critter launchers is going to have a very bad time. Like, Bullet is just covered in these things. Now throw a little bit of smoke, and they don't attack underneath smoke, so you can get away from them. Using smoke is a great way to get away from them. Check this out though. Our critters can't see them, so you can accidentally hide their critters from your own defenses, so be very aware of that as well. But notice how they stop running after Bullet. They start as soon as he pops out. We're going to put him back underneath. Our critters can kill their critters, by the way, but as soon as their critters get smoked, our critters will run away. So confusing. Hopefully I explained that well enough. A, you can escape critters by smoking your troops. B, our critters can't see their critters when underneath smoke. So lots and lots and lots of confusing details there. Next up, though, we can kill our own troops when trying to target those things. So in the event your troops go forward and are getting attacked by those critters, and you happen to have a troop that does friendly fire, bad things are going to happen. I'll show you that here in a second. We're going to throw a shock on all of that stuff. Didn't mean to throw a smoke, but what we're going to do next is we're going to flare that critter. We want our troops to kill that critter right there. Guess our grenadiers are like, what are we flared on? I'm so confused. What is happening? Look at that little dance because they're so darn confused. But our grenadiers trying to kill those critters did a bunch of damage on our heavies. So if you're going to be using grenadiers, or if you're going to be using rainmakers, or even explosive drones, be very careful because those 3 troops will kill your own troops and bad things will happen. And that is only those troops. Other troops, not a big deal. Zookas, for example, and or bombardiers, not a concern. And just to prove that to you, I'm going to send our friends, the heavies up there. Don't worry about these guys. Bombardiers, that was the #1 concern I had from a lot of people, actually, was that bombardiers were going to kill their own tanks, we're going to kill their own heavies. So if we drop bombardiers here and we flare onto those things right there, bombardiers actually do 1 tile of spread damage. But as you can see here, they are not damaging our heavies at all. Heavies were previously damaged by that boom cannon getting a shot off. Otherwise, all of them are super healthy. All is well in the world. So only grenadiers and rainmakers and explosive drones. Otherwise, don't worry about that friendly fire whatsoever. Now, next up on the list, if you're looking to get attacking a base that has these things, just smoke past it. That is the easiest way to go about dealing with these things. Just send your troops, smoke on past. If they don't see you, they're not CMOs, they're not going to send critters, and like I said, you can full on escape their critters by simply smoking back past them. Not a big deal. Smoke is your friend. If you have not been using smoke yet, please do consider using smoke because it is so incredibly useful in all aspects of the game. Now, just like our critters, if you throw critters and there's only 1 defense, our critters will run all the way to that defense. Doesn't matter where the heck it is. They don't, like, these things have unlimited range, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So what we're going to do is, just to show that to you guys, I am going to smoke bullet as far as I possibly can away from these critters. And we're going to watch what happens, because I was curious, which means at least one of you out there is probably going to be curious as well. So just to avoid a little bit of extra time, we're going to skip that final smoke. Bullet's going to pop out of smoke as far as he possibly can be from those critters, and instant engagement. They are running for Bullet because they want him dead. I also want him dead, so you don't have to watch the rest of this replay, but not a lot I can do on that front. And like I said, as soon as you retreat, those things stop moving. They are no longer active. Bullet is gonna make it back to the landing craft, unfortunately. So, last little detail there. Figured, hey, I'm curious. Some of you are gonna be curious, and I'm trying to go as in-depth as I possibly can. Last but not least on the friendly attack challenge here, what I'm going to show you is that these things actually do damage on their own. Not just the critters, they actually do damage on their own. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to shock Bullet right there. We're going to throw a smoke on Bullet, and you can see right there, the critter landing does some damage. It's not just the critters that do damage. These things do a tiny bit of damage all on their own. And that is advertised. I just took me a while to figure out a way to prove that. So if you actually click here, they do 38 damage per shot at the lowest possible level. As far as their range, they have a 3-tile blind spot. That is step number 1, and they range up to 10 tiles. So I guess their range is actually 7 tiles. They can range from 3 to 10, nothing in the middle. That is a big, huge, fat blind spot. Now, as far as the headquarters levels, in order to get these things, you need to be headquarters level 12 to get one of them. At headquarters level 15, you get 2 of them. At headquarters level 19, you get 3 of them. And then at headquarters level 23, you max out and get 4 of them, just like this. That is about all the info I've got for you. Now, their their amount of health, if you'll have a look here, these things don't have a ton of health. They've got 3,800 at level, 5,200 at level 1, all the way up to 12,700 at the maximum. They do 38 damage per second at level 1. They do 141 damage at level 12. So that should be all of the details you need to know. If you have any other questions, sorry, level 16, I should say. I said level 12. Level 16 is max for these things. That should cover everything. I'm going to make a chart, a graph, and throw that in the comments. This should cover everything you need to know about the Critter Launcher. Troops that are great against it, anything that shoots quickly, such as Scorchers, anything, I'll show you that. Let's do one last thing. Anything that shoots quickly, like a Scorcher or a Mech, does fairly well. I'll show you Scorchers against these puppies as well. You saw Bullet shoots pretty slowly. Same thing, you need to get some form of quick damage. As soon as those Scorchers get to that quick flare, watch this. Those things are toast. Just absolutely gonzo. But not super duper quickly. These things, even Scorchers, don't retarget all that quickly. So be very, very aware that you need to use smoke or stay away from them or just get the heck rid of them. So Critter Launchers are going to be a major, major problem. Use troops that outrange them or smoke past them. Hopefully this covered all of the details you could ever need to know about these things and more. I gotta tell you, I spent a lot of time planning and brainstorming this, so hopefully you helped it. Hopefully it helped you. I'll talk to you soon. I'm Zedmont. Thanks for coming in. Peace.